Alright, here's devlog number 4 of my 30-day challenge to make progress on Pitfight, my upcoming indie game. This one was a little more difficult today, and it kinda stumped me, but not all problems can be solved in one day, so I think I'll pick this one up tomorrow too. My goal here was to get blood splatter working in multiplayer. I got it working fine in single player, and that was pretty easy. It was just spawning a Niagara system whenever you hit another character, but making a multiplayer game, that was not the end of my journey, because this was not working in multiplayer. All of the clients, or the people connecting, would not see any of the blood splatters. Only the server, or the host, would be able to see any, and obviously that's not what we want. So I spent a few hours trying to figure out what was wrong. First, I did a simple replication system with spawning it on the server, and then calling a multicast, which will spawn it to all the clients. That kind of worked, but there was a weird lag in it, and I'm not sure why. It worked really strangely, where if I would hit them, the server would spawn the blood correctly, but the client wouldn't. But if I hit the client a second time, then it would spawn the blood splatter in the first location, and that was really strange. So, the steps that I took to try to solve this was first taking a look at the Niagara system. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the scratch pad and couldn't really wrap my head around it, so I tried to move on from there. I was originally trying to make the randomness, the seed of the blood splatter, the same, but also still random, if that makes sense. It would be a random number, but that number would be the same for both the client and the server. That whole system wound up being much more of a headache than I originally intended, so I kind of dropped that idea and just went with a static random number. Then there was a lot of investigation around the impact point, so the number saved, or the location saved where the blood should splatter. And I got really confused because I was calling certain events on our characters where the impact point would be saved, and they were coming up as 0 a lot of the time, and I wasn't sure why. Eventually I figured out that it was actually being called on the wrong character. So most of the logic that's happening here is from the instigator, or the attacker, and then the attacker would spawn the blood for the victim, if that makes sense, where they hit them. But when I was trying to do it, I was actually trying to make the victim spawn its own blood, because I thought that made more sense at the time, but it didn't know where it was hit, because that information was actually on the attacker. It was really confusing. In the end, I have something that I'm semi-satisfied with. It still does that weird replication issue where the blood splatters for the client slightly differently, or at the wrong time. But it's looking better, so I'm going to continue to investigate this one, and we'll try again tomorrow. Alright, thanks nerds. Follow for more.